second one I wanted to talk to you guys about. So we had gone through circle topics of building and validating, creating connections, I think is where we had gotten cut off. There we go. So I've done this a lot. This one, what is a friendship circle? And just talking about what is a friend, what does it mean to be a friend? I think far too often kids have a wrong idea of what a friend is and how to be a friend, all the way from kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade. So this one was really important in the setting that I'm currently working on. And it's okay to not want to be somebody's friend too, right? If they're not treating you correctly, that to voice that. So this was a really good one that is easy to do in classrooms. And then building the relationship one, this was huge for me. In this circle, I've done this one as well. You really hear how kids are or are not connected to their school community, and their voice is such a reflection of what they need inside of the classroom and what they may or may not be getting, or what they might just be faking their way through and just doing school instead of being a part of the school. And each circle ends with, a checkout round of, like this one, for example, I chose a checkout round of using one word. Right now, tell us how you feel. Or on a scale of 1 to 5, where are you at right now? Kind of like a temperature check. So there's always a closing so that there is that follow-up. If you have a student that's really struggling with it, you can follow up with them off of your closing round on in a 1-to-1 or an impromptu type of conference. Did this one too, so I added this one in here, a welcome back circle. So if kids are suspended or if they're gone for a long period of time, say due to a health injury, suspension is where I've used it currently, because the student that's coming back in off of a suspension more than likely is nervous or has a little bit of anxiety, isn't sure how the class is going to welcome him or her back into the room. Helps with that, but then it also helps the mindset of the teacher and the students for them to be able to talk about it and welcome that student back and saying, hey, we're starting fresh all over again, instead of ignoring the white elephant in the room, right? Like, we all know you got suspended, we're just not going to talk about it. Instead, having a very purposefully facilitated circle of welcoming that child back into the environment. And it doesn't just have to be suspensions, it can be for illnesses or like a death of a family member, or for whatever reason that they're gone, but just recognizing that they were gone and bringing them back in. One of the videos I watched, actually, it was really neat to see students started to help the other student that was gone, saying, oh, I saw that you're gone, you missed this, let me help you with this during free choice time or something like that. It gave some really big leadership roles to students that may not have otherwise done some of those things. And it strengthened the community big time. And the next one was the social and emotional learning. This one I use in actually my special ed groups of just even talking about their anger. So I picked a topic to put on here of what triggers your anger. More often they know what makes them mad, and we don't take the time to ask them what makes them mad or what can we do differently. And a big part of that is there's so much parent share that goes on. Like, they'll say to their friend, well, you get mad about that? I get mad about that too. Have you tried doing this? They're seeing answers or taking suggestions from their peers across the room as well. So the triggering the anger helps. I always, if I can't think of something off the spot, me personally, I tend to like maybe make up a situation or bring in my own family so that they can see that I get angry too. And I think that's a huge part of the circles, is that the facilitator or the teacher takes the time to be vulnerable in those situations to be able to connect with that too. So then kind of the polar opposite of what triggers your anger. What makes you feel good? So good thing with that one. This one was another big one, just like a safe space circle when there's harm that may have gotten on inside of in your classroom, just to have that circle time of, it's important for us to all feel safe, and how can I provide you safety? What does it mean for you to be safe? Where are there other places that we can help you feel safe? So some lesson plans on that. This next lesson topic, I struggled with deciding if I should put it on there, but I kind of like to push boundaries. So I put difficult but yet important conversations in here. Through a lot of the work that we've done professional development with like Dr. Shirok, Holly, and some of these other people, of our own hidden biases, and growing personally and professionally, and not just staying status quo, I thought, well, this is a good way to maybe not in your face talk about difficult but important conversations, but a resource to go to it. Like race was a big one. I thought if I could share this out, and if one person felt uncomfortable with a race conversation or sexuality in their classroom or gossip or something, at least they would have a non-threatening way to go to look for more information if they were ready to tackle some of those things. So one of them I put in here was a gossip circle, because 5th grade girls love to gossip, and half the time they don't even know what they're doing or what they're talking about, and they're not recognizing the harm in it. And with all the expectations of society going on, and the reality TV shows that go on, they're emulating a lot of the situations and not understanding what they're doing. So we've done the gossip circle quite a few times at the elementary school that we're at, and every time I'm amazed with the resolution within the group, but then the acknowledgement of how they've hurt their peers and their friends, and their own self-reflection, and then what they do to repair those relationships with their friends has been really good. And actually, the girls that I did a gossip circle with wrote some testimonials that I put on the website as well, so they talked about the process there. So gossip circle is a difficult conversation to have, but we put that on there. Another difficult one that happens pretty consistently in elementary is the odd person out. So, you have a group of 3 kids and one always feels left out, and oh, you're my best friend, like you can't go play with that other person because that's your best friend. A lot of recess type issues that we see. So I put that one in there for the odd person out. And then I put understanding white privilege in this one as well. I really thought that was really important when you work within a really diverse demographic, where you may be the majority within your city or your state, but you're teaching minorities within your classroom to understand what they're bringing to the table, and their cultural norms, expectations, traditions, beliefs, how they differ from what you may, and that just because you're coming to the table with expectations or skill set of your life experiences, they're not always right, or the right way to handle that, and that kids are understanding things differently, so to open your eyes to it. I've yet to do this one, but when I was reading through it and trying to figure out how to term it, it is something I'd really like to tackle, because I think there's so much there, and doing it in a very safe way instead of like a condemning way or a lack of empathy, because nobody likes to be called a racist, and this isn't calling people racist, it's just understanding that because you're white, you were given or afforded certain opportunities that other people aren't. So that one was kind of a difficult one on there. It was pushing the limits for me there. This tab is just totally going to take you to videos that I uploaded. They're going to be informal and formal, lots of good things there. This one is the testimonials. So I have student testimonials, I have teacher testimonials, an administrator testimonial in there, all talking about what the restorative practice has done for them, what they've liked, what they've not liked. As a huge success, I think we have girls now asking to have a circle because they want to resolve conflict through a safe environment rather than a physical altercation, which is huge improvement. This one I put a link in on your mindset. This is where the mindset really has to, change your mindset in order to have restorative justice and education practices work within your building. So just information on what a fixed mindset is, a growth mindset, and some strategies of how you can foster a growth mindset in there. And then I also put a link for a mindset assessment that I actually took two of. I may think that I have a growth mindset, but I actually might have a fixed mindset in certain areas. So for people to go to actually have a reflective assessment on their own mindset and what they can do differently. So I put one in there of just a little easy assessment. There's actually 4 components: your mindset, mindset for student motivational, the classroom mindset of how you teach, how you deliver instruction, and then the school mindset too. So how the school is run, is the school a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? So it's not just individual, but it's looking at the whole school community in there. So threw in some of those links. And then there's podcasts to listen to more information, TED Talks and all my references. And then I also put a feedback link into this so that if people liked it, they could tell me what they liked about it, what they'd like to see more about it. I'd like to see, me add more things to it as we go. So there is a Google form for more feedback for me. That's it.